Libra, this is your December 2017 monthly reading. Before I get started on your reading, I just have some things I want to go over real quick. For one, for you Libras and anybody else who's cross-watching, I'm sorry it has taken me so long to keep going with the videos and get these out. Between my own health and balancing things from my awakening that I've had to deal with, and with private readings and balancing like comments and all of that, technical difficulties with Mercury retrograde and growing pains and figuring things out. Please bear with me, and this will get, better as it goes on, in finding out what works, what doesn't work, all of that. Trying to think. I have a holiday deal going on that is for a 30-minute reading, it's $25, and for a 60-minute reading, it's $45. So email me if you want to partake in that. It's a great deal. It's about half off. So if you have a lot going on in your life for a Christmas gift, you want to know what's going on for the new year, whatever, email me, hit me up about that. All that information, all of this is in the description box of every video I have, just so you guys know. I also have a thing going on just because I really like hearing comments and hearing people's journeys and what they think, constructive criticism, any of that. On any of these 12 videos, the 12 monthly videos for each horoscope sign, only one submission counts, so don't go on every one. I mean, if you want to, more love, great, but only one submission counts. But leave a comment, something more substantial than hi, but it doesn't have to be long. But leave me a comment and let me know what you think, your journey, your thoughts, constructive criticism, if it resonated. I don't really need to hear if it didn't resonate, because these are general readings. So we all know that some, none, or all of it's going to apply. The messages reach who they're supposed to. I pick up the messages I'm supposed to. I think we all get the drill by now. Anyways, after December is over, I will, and if you say your video isn't out yet, like you're cross-watching right now, or you're watching your sun or moon or whatever, it's not even your video. It doesn't even matter. Just leave a comment and that will put you in if you happen to see this and your video is not up yet. Yes, I plan on having all of the videos up before December is over, so every sign will have a monthly video. But after December is over, I will randomly pull a name and that person will get a free hour-long reading. Now that we finally, after all that, get to what it was all about anyways. Anyone who's left a comment, if I have not replied to it yet, please know that I've seen it. I am just trying to coordinate my time and have good time management to fit everything in. So I am, as long as everything goes okay, I'm allowing a certain amount of time every day to reply to comments and all that. So if I haven't replied, don't take it personally, or like, oh, she replied to this person's but not mine. Like, I'm getting around to it. Sometimes I will just leave hearts if it's something short or quick, but sometimes, I try to leave more, and I don't want to just leave a heart and then they think it's like done or that's it. Like, I want to leave more of a reply. So anyways, don't take it personally. I'm trying to balance everything out. I do have plans for weeklies. I need to update my twin flame video. I do want to do some love readings and some random readings. I do want to do some videos. I'll be going on vacation soon, so I might actually do some of those just channeling videos that I want to do. But I want to do some covering. I've been asked to tell about my journey by some people, so I might tell about my journey and my awakening. I do want to talk about topics that I'm passionate about, like narcissism, codependency, kind of from a different perspective though, that I've learned more with like compassion and boundaries than villainizing them. Anxiety, depression, you know, awakening, just different topics that I am passionate about. So I do have some thoughts coming, and as this is going, I do have a lot of great things coming out, but I'm kind of like changing it as I'm seeing the reality of how it's unfolding. So stay tuned, because I do have a lot of great ideas and things coming out. Like, share, subscribe, comment. You know, even if you're not sure, subscribe. You can always delete it later. I don't think you will, but, you know, whatever. Don't forget about the holiday deal. Comment. It puts you in the chance for a free reading. And, you know, be sure to watch, like, if this doesn't resonate, or even if it does, watch your sun, moon, rising, your Venus, any significant planets in your chart, which if you don't know your chart or how to find all that out, I think I did leave like 1 or 2 pretty good links to find that. Yeah, so I think that's it. All right, Libra. So I just get this very like kind of like this vibe of just you know, like that. Like, oh, that's coming after that. It was just that. But this very, like, I know sometimes Libras, because they're so liking balance and harmony, and they don't like to ruffle people's feathers or upset things. Sometimes they don't really speak their truth, and they will either sabotage themselves, sabotage the situation, or build resentment. Even. And I think that I think this is a little bit of a mixture going on here in this reading. This could very much be also a career reading. I do think a lot of the readings are coming out more as relationship readings for December, because there are so many change-ups going on in people's lives, so many things going on in people's relationships. Scorpio, Jupiter's going to be in Scorpio for like a year, and it just came out of Scorpio with the new moon as well. But, sorry, my gun was falling apart. I'm like trying to gather it back together. So now it's in Sagittarius, which is like it's Scorpio's neighbor, but also Jupiter is going to be in Scorpio for like the next year. So it's going to expand all of those sides. It's the culmination of the end of the first, you know, things are changing. This is the end of the year anyways, but if you're in with the whole, you know, how the universe, or the earth is changing, and it's changing frequencies, and kind of like the new earth coming, and this is like the end of the first year. We would be going into the second year next year. This one was more about like the identity and cleansing and everything like that, and the next one would be, you know, about couples. But anyways, I think to prepare for that, and just because it's the end of the year, it's kind of like the energy for that, the expansion of Jupiter and Scorpio and all that. A lot of people, my point is, a lot of people are just more focused on love and having a lot of things going on in love right now. So I do think that's why a lot of my readings, not all of them, but a lot of them were more focused on love. But this does very much speak to a career too. So if I am speaking of this in a career or a love sense, and it's, you know, applies to career, or applies to some person in your family, or how you feel about life or a situation, or your coworkers, or your boss, or just your career in general and how you feel about it, you know, your children, whatever, apply it to that as it goes. I'm going to speak of this in a love way, because I do feel very much that it is a love essence. So at the core of your reading, okay, so let me say this first. I remember when I did your guys' Scorpio new moon reading, you guys had an energy that was very similar to Pisces. Where it was like you had found yourself, you had found your confidence, you were excited, you were like not like there to show yourself to the world and everything, like kind of this new spring to your step. I kind of still feel that same energy here, but I feel for some that some could be held back. I think some are waiting to remove themselves from this situation. Some are scared or insecure, maybe self-esteem. But I had this thing happen to me. Well, I have panic attacks sometimes now during my awakening. I think a lot of stuff's being purged and having to face things. But it was very much during one that it was like I felt like I was in a new environment with what was going on. Just the way in my body I felt not at home. Like I felt like I was being pushed or emerged or even to some degree in, I guess, the victim type way of thinking, pulled from my home. And by home, I mean the comfort of my body or the comfort of my environment or the comfort of my reality. You know, whatever, in all ways. Even the way I felt was just not like me. My body, you know, felt different. It just felt different, and the sensations. And one of the things that I did take from that, amongst others, was that not to limit myself. I feel one of the reasons that I went through that was to show me how at that moment, or whether it was bringing up some past memory, that you know, I had went through a transition of some sort. To be honest, I actually think I remembered the fear and the sensation of when I was born. And I think that fear has kind of carried on and built over the years. So it's almost, you know, like being birthed into a world. I mean, you're coming out of a womb and, you know, a uterus and, you know, a sac with amniotic fluid. Just a completely different environment than what you experience as you come into this 3D world. Not only is that scary enough that you're feeling that completely different sensation, you know, you going from being surrounded and not having to do anything and just that constant warmth on you, you know, to going to a place where now you're wet and you're cold and there's all these like lights that your eyes haven't adjusted to, and it's blurry and things moving around and sounds and yanking on you and pulling on you, and You're scared. You don't know what's going on. I mean, not only is that bad enough, but I can only imagine what the trip from the uterus to the outside world must have been like also. It's almost like that tight squeeze that's just like pushing you and pushing you and pushing you and poof, into the new. It's so relatable at the same time, you know, to so many things that you can compare even in this 3D world. So my main reason in telling you that is I feel, you know, not only for your sign, a lot of signs are going through a lot of new beginnings. So I do feel like you're going through a new beginning. Some of you are eagerly awaiting it. Some of you are scared. Some of you are waiting for certain reasons or another. And some of you are wanting to go but staying because it's the devil that you know. So my point in telling you my experience is, you know, this is all new for me. So, you know, I'm going through and experiencing things as well. And I feel like, besides saying it in this video for you guys, one of the things that I went through that for and to take from it was not only with this journey, but in so many ways of my life right now, is it completely, absolutely changing. So much of my life has been just flipped and turned upside down. And when I was going through that sensation and I felt that different sensation, hey, can I try to do something? When I felt that different sensation, everything in my body, in my core, wanted to reel back and hold on as hard as I could, you know, especially for an earth sign, you know. I'm very grounded feeling usually, so it's a very uncomfortable feeling. So I like feel this change, and out of this grounded feeling I am, and everything in me is like no, and is fighting it and getting nervous, and I can feel myself, you know, don't cut my chains, you know, because on one hand it's like, who says that? But on the other hand, you know, it protects you at the same time. So what I had realized through it is, as you go through this process, because this is something this is a growing process for me in so many ways. When you feel that feeling that feels different or out of the norm or uncomfortable or doesn't feel like home necessarily, like it's not comfortable, don't stop it. Don't avoid it just because of that. Like, yes, sometimes you do want to listen. You always want to listen to your intuition, but yes, sometimes your intuition will tell you that and you should listen to it, but this is different. Like, this is also while listening to yourself, but it's listening to yourself enough to be able to decipher whether it's your intuition or you're being guided, or whether it's your ego or a fear-based mentality trying to stop you. So as you're going through things that feel different or new or uncomfortable or not that devil that you know, don't stop that just because it feels different and it feels uncomfortable. Because I do think many of you are going through a cycle, and I don't want you guys to stop it because of fear-based mentalities. And I also don't want you to, if it's a bad situation or, not so great, like a karmic situation, Don't stay out of fear and then add to it out of fear. Like, is very much a self-reflective thing. Okay? So don't stop yourself from stepping out and letting your wings open just because it feels uncomfortable. Because eventually that will feel like home too. And it'll feel better than the old one. You know, we're not always meant to stay stagnant. We're meant to spread our wings and fly. And let it be balanced, but let that going with the flow be your home and not this clutched down energy. This is very much what I was doing. Like, no. Don't do that. Okay. So what's at the core of the reading is you have TikTok. So there is, you know, divine timing here. There is, you know, there's things happening in perfect timing to help kind of push you along a path. I do think also that, you know, some of you might literally be, I think it's time. You know, I've done this for enough time, or, you feel like you're running out of time to make a decision, but you're just really like, it's time. Like, it's time to take off. And I think some people it's for the situation, but for various reasons, which I'll go through, I think some of you are thinking about or have been possibly talking to other people. I definitely think the other party has been too, or maybe not, but either they are and or you are as well. But almost like in this codependent or controlling way, to where it's like you don't want to be alone, or you have, like, you know, kind of self-esteem issues or something. I don't know. I think you're waiting to see, because in this situation you're kind of like bored and just not really into it, and you're waiting to see what it does. I think you're focused on other things, and out of all these cups, I think you're waiting to see which ones are full of the water, which ones are going to bring you that emotional satisfaction. You know, is it the situation I'm in now? Is this ever going to get better? Or is it with somebody else? Are they going to fill their cup with their other person? You know, maybe not even seeing the situation for what it is. Like, you're just focused on so many other things and ignoring the opportunity at hand. But I just feel like you think it's time. Enough time has gone by. Like, time is slipping from your hands at this point. Like, you need to make a decision. And I think you've waited long enough, and you're just getting done with it. What's crossing you is the time to go in reverse, to where it's like, you know, a huge part of you wants to go, but you're not. You don't know if it's time now. You want to go, but you don't want to go, or for some reason you're waiting. Maybe you're hoping it will get better. But with that, you have the 10 of Pentacles. So, like, you trying to ride this out and figure out what to do, like, it's really a burden to you. It's really weighing you down. I don't think you're really looking at how you feel, though. Like, even in this cup, like, you can't see any of the water. Like, this looks like a pier that usually covers water. You can't see the water. All you can see is the fog. So, I mean, it could be to a higher level of whatever, but it could be literally that, like, she can't even see her emotions. She can't even see how she really feels. She's not even thinking of how she really feels. She's not even looking at it. All she's thinking and focusing on is, this sucks. This is not at all how I want this to go. There's more cups than you figured there. I think you and the other person are trying to search outside of yourself for what's going to make you happy and not looking within. What's at the foundation of this reading is you have unfinished symphony reversed. So it's like, I think you pretty much think, yeah, this is done. Like, I don't think this is going to come back around. I don't think it's going to get better. I'm pretty much good. I don't think I have anything else to finish up here. I think you think it's done. You want to start, like, this is a 10. 1 plus 0 is 1. Like, you want to start a new journey on your own. You have the 9 of Pentacles, which also, again, states independence. Being, you know, single. Maybe the reason you're waiting to go is because you're trying to not only become single, but become, you know, abundant and taken care of and okay financially while being single. Maybe you're trying to focus on getting, you know, your money right, so that when you become single, you can be like on top of your game. You can have your crown on. You know, you can be good. You know. What's in your recent past is you have a never-ending story. She's just all in her head, all anxious, like love, yes or no. Just going around and around. Like, you're conflicted about this decision. You're conflicted about leaving. You're conflicted about starting over. Like, look at her. She has a mirror next to her, but she's not looking at it. Like, she's all in her head. This could be a guy or a girl, and this also could be a career situation. So please apply this as necessary. These videos are long enough, and I don't feel it. I'm not going to bounce back and forth on it. But she's not looking at the mirror. Like, she's just all in her head, just like, on like pattern and routine. Like, she's just same old, like, never-ending story. Just going. Not looking in the mirror, though, and looking at herself to see, how do I feel? What do I think? Why am I thinking this way? What do I really want? What's going to get me what I want? Like, a great thing I do to see, like, what I want to align with it, because sometimes it's very easy sometimes to tell yourself, like, false realities and even to lie to yourself and make excuses for it. And I started, like, writing down on a piece of paper, like, what my goals are and what I want. And then in the next column, I will write down what actions will make that goal come to fruition. And then in the column next to that, aligned with it all, I will write down what I am currently doing. And it's pretty eye-opening, you know, to really see yourself with what you're really doing compared to what aligns you to your goal. And then at any time, if your mind starts to play tricks on you within the process, all you have to do is just go back to that sheet and just, okay, what aligns me to this again? That's what I'm doing. And yes, listen to your intuition and learn on that, but until you can really get yourself in a rhythm and your ego starts to trust you and you're in alignment and you're going, it's a good way to bring yourself back to, like, you know, check in reality. Like, kind of like how sometimes, like the movie Inception, how they would have something in it so you knew whether it was like a dream or reality, like false or a reality. So it's kind of cool to do that, but doing the work, and she's just all conflicted. Like, Five of Wands, like, is this love? Isn't? There's competition. There might be competition on my part. There might be competition on their part. I'm conflicted. We're constantly just going back and forth and bickering. Sometimes it's serious. Sometimes it's not. But it's just a very conflicting situation, and she's very conflicted mentally. Which is crazy, because your more distant past was like, you knew you didn't want it and you wanted to be single. But your recent past is like, now all of a sudden you don't know again. Like, what happened? Did you get on, is that what I saw last month? Was that like a little high you had, you know, where it was, I'm feeling good, this is what I want. You started oh, okay, I see where this is lining up now. Did you guys start to break out of that shell and it got pretty uncomfortable and you just reeled it on back? That's exactly what I think probably happened. That's not funny, I'm not laughing at you, but yeah, I mean, and maybe you saw things that showed promise in this situation, but maybe you're also telling yourself some type of lie to make yourself feel better about reeling yourself back again of, well, because this card reverse says that, like, it might be done for a minute, but it's not completely over. Like, it's going to come back. It's kind of like a pause, like, not really time to go. This is your crossing. Like, so this thought is crossing you, like this burdensome, conflicting thought is holding you back. Like, you got in your head that uncomfortable feeling that you started to feel by breaking out. It pulled you back to your comfort zone, which matches greatly with your crowning card. I'm sorry, I'm just smiling because it's connected to me, so it's kind of, I'm like, ah. But anyways, you have no place like home, reversed, which is saying, like, so funny. For one, I don't think you feel at home anyways, which is kind of the ironic part, actually, but I'll get to that. I don't think you really feel at home. I don't think you really feel comfortable in this situation. But what no place like home means when it's reversed is stop always trying to look for situations, people, relationships, situationships, whatever, that always feel comfortable to you. Like, if you're in a negative pattern or a negative cycle and you haven't realized kind of your patterns or your role in it yet, chances are there is codependency at play here, and you haven't realized that, and you keep having these situations, and you're the common denominator, like you're playing a part in it, either by what you're contributing or by what you're attracting or attracted to. So, and it's funny too, because up here, this is a sign of patterns. I think you're in a pattern and staying in a pattern of either staying with the devil that you know out of a fear-based mentality, or out of finding situations that are comfortable to you. And if you've grown up in situations where you both have a misprocessed idea of love, or where there's always drama, or you're always being treated wrong, or you're always in a situation where they are wrong to you, which allows you to have a victim mentality, because what would you do without all of this? Like, that's another thing. Like, it's crazy. It's very sobering to finally be with somebody who is good to you and who is what you want. And if you don't pick up this mirror and look at it, if you are even lucky enough for a minute to attract that frequency to you, which if you don't do the work and align your frequency quickly, if you can even attract it to you, you will sabotage it. You will run it away. There's nothing more sobering than somebody who really is good to you and someone who brings the gift of a balance mirror. That's like my motto. I want to make like a t-shirt or something, like the gift of a balance mirror. I say it all the time. But it's very sobering. It really shows you your ways and what you've developed over all the years on how you play that dance. Any relationship is like a dance. It just depends on what dance you're playing. And I think it's time for you to find a new dance. But you have to see what you're doing and what moves you're able to do. And if you want to try a new dance and you don't know how to do that dance, well, then you need to take some time and go within and research how to do it and get some training and evolve yourself so that you can have that proper dance with someone else who knows how to do it. I don't think you like this dance, because if you did, you wouldn't have been thinking about leaving. You wouldn't have been thinking it's over. You wouldn't be going back and forth and conflicted inside your head. I don't think you like this dance. Stop looking for things that seem familiar. Look for something new, even if it's uncomfortable, even if it's one time, you know, just see what it turns out like. It's like, I think it's Einstein, like Einstein's definition of insanity is doing the same things over and over again and expecting a different result. You know, like, I also take this also too as like, this card to me shows somebody who's looking for home outside of themselves. And one day I had this thought, you know, that saying that's home is where the heart is. And for most people, if you ask them, what does that mean? They will say, it's anything you love. You know, it's like your house, your family, or, you know, some people's jobs, your dogs, your children, you know, coming home to your family. And that's beautiful and all. But to me, what it really means is home is where your heart is literally where your heart is. It is inside you. That should be your home, is inside and balanced of you. Above your family, above your children, above your spouse, above all other. And you can even throw, you know, like, well, not God. God, you are God. God is in you. You are part of God. So by loving yourself, you are not putting yourself above God, or source, or whatever, the universe. So that when and if things change around us, because they always do, we still are more likely to stay in alignment and feel at home and feel right, because our home is inside, not outside of us. We can love other things. We can let that overflow to our love, our relationships, our situationships around us. But stop searching for home outside of yourself. Look within for your home. Find out which your comfort is so you can attune your frequency to that and others can attune it as well. If you're always looking for home outside of you, you're always going to be looking for something that's not who you are, because we're all different. And if you're always looking for the same thing over and over again, yet you always seem to be in this situation, always stuck like this, then you're not listening and finding your heart within, and you're always doing the same things over and over again. So you could have either left the situation before and found another one because of that, and it reeled back your shine from last month, or you thought about leaving. You were about to leave your distant past, but your recent past was like, oh crap, no. Because you somehow told yourself a lie. Well, maybe I was wrong. Maybe I've been too strict. Maybe this can work. Maybe it will work. But in your mind, not feeling right at home, not feeling right within yourself, and doing the same things over and over again, it's just leaving you anxious. Like the Nine of Swords. So your likely future, you have soulmates. I can clarify this, and probably we will. But I'm not too sure. I'm not too sure I would get excited about this. Because to clarify it, you know, you have the Fool card. So I see on one hand, you deciding to leave this situation. Some of you will leave the situation and go out on a journey on your own. You know, you're being scared, but you're doing it anyways. Like, there's your ego just whispering in your ear, and you're like, oh crap. Or it could be you in this soulmate, starting new, starting fresh. I don't get that as a vibe for most of you, but some of you might. Yeah, I more see it as, if you look, even like, here's the soulmates, and he's like walking away from it. He's walking away from that union. And you might be scared of doing it. It might be your ego that had you do it. I don't know. If you do start over with this, it may work out for you, or it might be because somebody in this situation or somebody manipulative was, you know, whispering fears and things to make you lose your self-esteem and confidence so that you did stay, but they're just really blowing smoke out of their butt. You know, look at all this. It's just like destruction in the background. See that, and that's another reason I really think, like, a small part might have stayed in our working out and starting new, but you know, you have like burning it and starting new. So it could have been burning the karma from the past between you guys and starting new and letting stuff grow, or you know, you could be walking into this in a sabotaging relationship again, or you left it and burned it all down. Let's see. I don't plan on pulling any of these, but let's just see what it does. Some of you very well could have, though. I mean, you have the Seven of Cups. You know, you could have checked out your options and decided to have another go at it and try to have it more balanced in a give and take. It could also be an illusion. Like, maybe you put yourself, like, exactly like I said earlier in here, like, where she kind of, not she, but this person was going to leave. They had it in their mind to go, and then they psyched themselves out. Like, instead of going, they're like, well, maybe it can work. Maybe this will work. Maybe this will come around. Maybe we just hit a hard patch. So maybe you're also hitting like some confusion or being like delusional about it, and you're giving it another go, and, you know, you're trying to be balanced and have an even give and take. And then I do think another certain percentage of you left. We'll clarify it more if needed. We'll move on. How you see yourself in this situation is you have observer, but it's reversed. So it's you not taking the time to look at things from a different perspective. Like, you're not trying to look at things differently. You just keep looking at it exactly the same way. And to clarify that, you have the Five of Cups. So because you're scared of being regretful or making the wrong decision or being sad, like, you're too scared about what you're going to lose and not what's in front of you. I mean, I don't know if there's more cups now in the situation. Like, before you had like the Four of Cups. Now you've got Five of Cups. And at least before, two of them were full. Now only one of them's full. So you're either focusing more on yourself again, or you're just really trying to put all your attention like into this one. I think what might lead to this future, and either you going on your own or trying to work it out, you know, is you kind of focusing on yourself. Because you have what's in your environment, or how others see you. You know, you have exchange of gifts, which is about an even give and take. 27. 7 plus 2 is 9. So just kind of being at the end of the cycle and kind of like at the end of your ropes on, this is not an even give and take. This isn't an even give and take. And you're just defending yourself about it. You have the 7 of Wands. Like, you're just kind of fighting. You're defending yourself. You're like, this is what I want. I'm defending what I want. And what I want is an even give and take. And so far, this has not been an even give and take. And I think you know, maybe you're being convinced, like, someone's trying to, you know, kind of talk a good game, like this guy. You know, you always have someone in your ear and they're just blowing smoke out their butt. But you're sticking to it. Like, you're like, no, I'm not willing to see, I'm not going to see this from another perspective. I'm not going to see it from your perspective. This is what I want. Only this cup is the only one that's full. This is what I want. I want an even give and take. And what your hopes and fears are is, and I see this as both, you have poised, being poised, and you have the Moon card. I think on one hand, you know, you're hoping that you're ready for this new beginning while being scared that maybe it's all an illusion and it's a lie and you're dreaming. I think you're fearing or you know, you're hoping for this new beginning because this is what you've been dreaming about and using your intuition about. You could be fearing that this is what you want, but it's all an illusion. You're dreaming. Like, wake up. You know, wake up out of your dreams. I think this could also be you playing face, you know, to others around you in this situation, this work situation, life situation, you know, situationship, relationship, whatever, that you like are happy, that you are okay, and that you are strong. But really you're just exhausted and you're just over it and tired. I also see this as, I think you might be getting kind of like downloads or inspirations or thoughts in your dreams. Like, listen to your dreams, because I think they're guiding you to this new path that's going to help you be like this. You know, where she's spreading her wings, like I said. So pay attention to your dreams, pay attention to your intuition, pay attention to the thoughts and messages that come to your mind. What's in your likely outcome is you have deep knowing. And this is like you know, like you're wise, you know, like you are listening to your intuition. To kind of clarify that, you have Temperance and you have the Two of Pentacles. So there's very much balance here. Like, you know what to do to balance. I also get juggling too. Like, you know that there's overindulging and juggling going on. Whether it's women, men, sexual overindulgence in sex, drugs, alcohol, partying, attention seeking. And there's balance that's needed. And you had two other cards come out that I didn't know where they went, but you have like the Ten of Cups. So it could be, you know, it could be emotional fulfillment, but I kind of just see this as, you know, with the juggling and the balance, you could be emotionally balanced. You have a new opportunity, but I see this as you or the other person or situation or both as like filling everyone's cup but your own or their own. Maybe they're going and filling everyone else's cup but yours. Like attention seeking from everyone else, and they're nice to everyone else, but with you it's like who cares about your cup? And you're like, that's not fair. But the funny part is it's mirroring, because you're doing the same thing with your own cup and you're out there trying to fill everyone else's cup but your own cup. But you might have figured that out now. I hope you don't come to the realization about filling up your own cup and self-love, and then somehow you end up like, you know, kind of getting confused and like daydreaming about old patterns and not releasing it, and then you go filling other people's cups up again. I'm hoping that you learn emotional fulfillment within yourself, and then you go and you chase this opportunity to better yourself. But this could be somebody who is just overindulging, partying, drinking, and chasing every new opportunity that comes. Juggling, overindulging. So it's kind of funny actually that on, like, so here's deep knowing, I don't know how well I can do this. And you have the Ten of Cups. All this, like, I get it, like, overindulgence. Like, look at all this drinking, overindulgence, chasing opportunities, sandwiched in between deep knowing. Deep knowing is sandwiching. And then you have the Temperance card, and you have the Two of Pentacles. Again, overindulgence and juggling, chasing new opportunities. It could also be, though, like, chasing this path to emotional fulfillment and becoming balanced within yourself. Clarify the deep knowing for me. I'm not exactly sure if it's within this relationship, you know, but you have the Queen of Pentacles and the Empress. As I, like, clarify, like, what is this deep knowing? It's becoming balanced. It's becoming balanced in knowing your worth and what you want and your value. Which may be, you know, what causes this new beginning with this soulmate. Is because, you know, now you've cleared up the confusion for them and they had to, like, minimize their options. And if they wanted this union, they really had to practice a little bit more give and take. You know, again, here on the back of this Queen of Pentacles, you have her, you know, giving back to others. It could also just be you, you know, being in your power. It could also be, see, this to me kind of signifies also, that's why I say I think it's split, because, you know, it's also about knowing, like, about all this juggling and overindulging, and you've got, like, you know, although this is an Earth Gen energy, this Empress too, like, you got two females. Technically, you've got three females going on in here. So I think for some, it is becoming balanced within yourself. I think for some, it's going to be balanced within this relationship. And some, it's going to be that you just, you know there's overindulgences, there's codependency, there's juggling going on, there's a lot of partying, attention seeking, drinking, maybe drugs or whatever. I think this is like, you know, apply it as needed. You have the resurgence of a new love. I also get the vibe too that some people, and this is where I was kind of saying, like, think about what you're doing, and if you are thinking about going out of this relationship, think about how you're going out of this relationship and make sure you're doing it with integrity. Like, you might be going back to somebody from your past, a resurgence of a love. This could also be a self-love with, you know, within yourself. But, you know, there's kids in the background. It could be someone from your past. There's something I got on the cards, but I kept it because it looks like the praying hands. Like, it could be a resurgence from something from your past, something that you've been thinking about. Maybe you've turned your back on the marriage or the union. This is the Hierophant card. And this is, like, the back of it. So you might have, like, turned your back on this union. Some of you might have turned your back on this union. Became single. You know, you got your money right. You became single. You listened to the message from Spirit. And now you have self-love within yourself. And it's just you with your kids or whatever. Or this taking back your independence and be, you know, feeling on top of your game and self-love again might have given you the opportunity to reunite with someone from your past or brought in the frequency of someone from your past. To me, this very much feels like it could go different directions for people. Because I also have these other cards that, it's the Tarot of Sexual Magic, where it's like, you know, here's a really loving relationship. You have the Queen of Chalices, the Queen of Cups. And, you know, kind of really feeling bound to a situation, maybe because of kids. But maybe there's a judgment or something you find out, or, you know, maybe there's a resurgence. Somebody that you used to have kids with, or you're just stuck in the situation because you have kids. And, you know, they're out there attention seeking from other people, wandering eyes, wandering hands. And you find out with this deep knowing going on that this juggling is going on, and it's made you like this. Vengeful. Vengeful. Might be with a Scorpio. I mean, you have all the signs here. I'm not really going to go into that. If this resonates with you, it resonates. But she is vengeful, and she is ready to just end a cycle. Here's the Taurus card. So it could be with a Taurus or a Scorpio, or it's just you ending the marriage, ending the union. Because look at him. He's just sitting there like King Tut with his females, or her with her males, whatever. And you wanting to end it. And I think some of you do end it, but I think some of you second guess it, or you stay. Or like, you know, a lot of Libras who they don't speak their truth because they want to keep the harmony in the relationship. They will just be like underneath just going crazy, and they'll kind of be resentful. And I think some that are feeling betrayed by this, or possibly having a victim mentality, I think that they possibly were seeking love elsewhere, either from another partner or someone from the past. And here they come and feeling romantic, and you started this because it's the Five of Pentacles. Like, you felt left out in the cold. You wanted to feel that romance again. You wanted to feel that give and that take. You wanted someone for once to give you the attention and come back to you, instead of you always being the one giving. Because you knew that there was third parties going on, and you were sitting there waiting, and you were just self-sabotaging yourself, and it hurt. I mean, she's got a dagger. She's got a mirror next to her. Again, she's not looking at it. Swords. Scissors. The cup has fallen over. She's like pinching her nipple. Like, she's sabotaging herself. And because this was so painful, but yet she's not removing herself from it. But look, she knows about it. She knows about it. But she's not removing herself from it. She's just keeping it all within. And she's like this inside. So because of that, to make herself feel better, maybe she did go feel better with somebody else. Maybe someone from her past. Hopefully you left first. But you have the Two of Cups. And you have the Star. So it's like kind of needing healing. And maybe it's an Aquarius. You know, going after that path that brings you love and healing, because you have indecision and controlling behaviors and not knowing what you want. Just temptation, juggling, manipulation, people wanting what they can't have, maybe even from the past, wanting new paths, being in a situation but thinking about others. Like she's in this one, she's like too little too late. Or you're just doing that because you're trying to make up for something you did, or you just want to have sex. But she's like thinking about like this joyous time. I don't know. I feel this is kind of split in different directions. I think some left, some didn't stay, some are trying to work, some it got better because they, you know, they showed their worth. Some convinced themselves to stay, even though they were almost out the door, and they told a lie to themselves, and they're like, oh, that didn't work out. Some had self-love and got balance coming back in. And some knew to leave because there was juggling, and maybe they have a beginning with someone from their past. You know, you have let go of control issues. Allow the situation to unfold naturally. And it's asking you to look closer at these control issues. Again, in this one, you know, it's kind of funny how these work out because, you know, here's the mom and the daughter, and this change the sex as needed. Here's the mom and the daughter, and the guy's just like he's not really involved with the family, like not really giving attention to it. But my pain point saying that and looking closer at it is, you know, people and situations mirror us. So, you know, if somebody around you is very controlling, you know, you might also be very, very controlling, like even if it's in different ways. You also have healing family issues. And clarifying that, you have like this romantic, nice guy, but he's in reverse. So, you know, in this card, healing family issues, like everyone's all loving, dad's all loving with all the kids and everything like that. But here's this. So it's like either your upbringing was like that, maybe your dad wasn't really like that, you know, it's kind of like this. And you need to heal those family issues because now, you know, something you processed or the way it really was like dad or mom was like this, and now you keep finding new mom and dads like this that you're dating, and, you know, trying to control things, trying to control also how things happen. Like you're clearly being guided down a path, but you're trying to resist it and create it on your own, and you're not listening to your intuition, even though like you really know, like you know what to do, like you know what's going on. Like you have hard times, obstacles, needing or wanting to move on, you know, and go find a path, you know, that's loyal. But maybe you don't leave and you're thinking the grass is greener on the other side. So you go seeking that while not doing healing first and removing yourself from the situation so you can stay in an honorable position with this, even if you were the one that was wronged. I think your fearful state kept you in a certain state of mind, and your resentment allowed you to be able to look at this. Maybe you're looking at this and getting mad within your own relationship, or maybe you're thinking the grass is greener on the other side and you're thinking you might want to go play, but it might have kind of not working out well for you, or you're knowing someone else is doing all that and you're looking out the window all the while knowing that there's mischievous love going on. You know, maybe there's another mistress, or maybe now all this makes you feel all good and happy again for a minute. You're feeling all abundant. You think the grass is greener on the other side, and it hasn't hit you yet, but, you know, now it has. Maybe it wakes you up. Maybe it was a good thing. I don't really know. But eventually the light does come back out and your stability does come back stronger, because in time the manipulation does come out, whether it's on your end, their end, no matter who's exposed. I mean, you might even again have someone coming back from your past and you didn't leave this situation and you started reaching out for those messages of love. And now someone did come back from your past. And you got a choice to make. Which one's going to be stable? And which one do I need to put to rest? I need to decide what I really want subconsciously and send that message out so I can give that love and a higher level of commitment. But you really need to look within and see what you really want deep down to manifest like these good beginnings in this new direction. I think you see it as a chance. There's two ways you can go with it. You don't want to burn the wrong bridge. Who knows? Maybe you were talking to somebody online. But you're coming to a point where, you know, you really might have to like burn a bridge because you want to continue with one of them and make it public and give it stronger roots and a stronger foundation. Maybe even give it some type of contract, you know, like marriage or something that's legit, and, you know, make it pure. Maybe it's been gnawing at you because it feels stuck, disgusting, and it's burdening you. Because you've been with this man. Communicating and secrets and more communication. My main point is saying all that is, you know, if you're wanting love, but for one, self-love. You need to focus on self-love. But at the very least, if you do not want to go that route, even if you're in one where this situation is not good for you, like, don't just walk into another one or do it or set something else for you before you leave because you're so fearful that you won't have anything, or you have to line something up for yourself beforehand so you don't feel alone and feel scared. I do think, like, even your other romance cards, I'm not going to go through them, but they very much have, like, either you're reconciling with this situation, or there are many of you who are calling up, they are raising the antenna for some soulmate, and many of you, I think it's your past. Some people are rectifying this situation, and I think that's why it's look closer at the control issues to see that it lies with you too, also to fix it. And you have between worlds, so this could be between like something new and something old, or it could be between, in this relationship, dark times and lighter times. But again, this is that thing of, you know, don't feel weird when you're walking forward and the environment feels different. Don't stop yourself. You're being pushed to that direction. This person is all in their head thinking, but they're not using their intuition. Like, look at her. She's just sitting there thinking. Just like this girl. Thinking. But not using the intuition. This is reversed. Just thinking about, what do I want? What's going to make me happy? Look at all this abundance I co-created and built up, and it turned out to be a whole lot of nothing. But not wanting to do the work. Not wanting to do the work to clean house for this new vibrant life. You know, I mean, I think you're just like, okay, I'm just going to stand here. I'm going to be fair. I'm not going to say anything. I'm going to just do as needed, and I hope I'm in this marriage. I don't know, can I stay out of it? I'm in this relationship. Let me just do what's right and see what we can do and see what we can balance. But, you know, I think you're just thinking it's something good coming your way and trying to listen to the messages of probably your bad patterns, negative patterns of, well, let me try again. This is good for me. It came my way. And I think what this is also saying is, I do think it did come your way for a reason. And I think it came to show you to learn those lessons and of self-love and what you're doing, and also to show your own patterns. I don't even think necessarily this relationship is just bad for you. I think it's to show you something. I think some it is bad for you, but some it might literally be, once you start to do the self-work too and present, you know, the balanced mirror, you could possibly change it with the other person. But at the very least, to realize that, you know, you've been in an illusion and wearing a mask this whole time, thinking that everything that's gold glitters and it's not. And you're finally, those masks are coming off. I think your mask is coming off and their mask is coming off, and you're really starting to see, and it's causing a lot of chaos and conflict that you can't control. However, when it settles, it does settle with a new, stronger foundation, and it's what was supposed to happen. Okay? Like, you need to meditate more and breathe. You're not doing it. Go within. Listen to yourself. Go with the flow. Do the work. Realize that you are not telling yourself the truth. You are not being in the present moment. You cannot control this. You know, you need to remove clutter from your life. Like, you need to just do the work. But very, very much too, like, if you don't want to be in this situation, remove yourself from the situation. Don't in turn do something else that makes you wrong as well. I mean, you have a lot of devil energy, you know, codependencies going on here, and you need to take action and end a cycle. You either need to end this whole thing or end the codependent cycle within it. You know, you have a lot of controlling going on here. Here's Aries. There's a lot of controlling going on. There's commitment issues. Things just eating away at you. You know, there's 10 of Pentacles, so maybe it once brought you abundance, but now you see the truth. And someone's just always going to do the same thing over and over again and manipulate and have third-party situations. And it's just coming truth. It's coming to your eyes, and here's your Tower. I think there's just a whole lot of like 9 of Cups. Like, how many wishes do you need? Self-indulgence, happy days, but guess what? Sabotaging, toxic. He's sticking his hand in her stomach. She's choking him. It's like, yay, good times. You know, the Lover's card. Be toxic. And this is like seeing your worth and taking off and seeing the situation for what it is. She's really wanting to like pull the mask off, see who he really is. I mean, you've got like tower after tower coming. Like you realize that they're always going to do the same thing. They're always going to be up to their same tricks. And there's your Tower moment. And then you see the sabotage and the self-indulgence for what it is. And you're like, oh crap, I got to take my power back. I need to really look at this situation. Who are you? Who am I? Oh crap. This is one not... The first tower was one of your structure crumbling. This is one of knowledge. This is one that once the structure crumbles and it awakens them, they start seeing everything, and you just got slapped in the face with a bunch of like lightning bolts. Like, you see now. And here's your Justice card. And you either balance it and make it right within yourself in this relationship, or you end it and you manifest something new. You hear the call. You're listening to your guides. Karma is delivered. The lesson is learned and you guys go on in a productive way, or you just go ahead and end it knowing that this King of Wands guy, for one, you're listening to your intuition and you now know what to do, and you know that he's just always got mistresses. But at the very least, this is you, and this is standing on all the knowledge you just learned. I think you realize that they're always keeping their options open. They're always just saying stupid things just to say it and just to fight and just to be childlike, overindulging. Look at him, overindulgence. I'm not going to keep going with it. It all says the same thing over and over and over and over again. So, you know, don't be like this. Like, you have the truth now. You see clearly. Walk to whatever path leads you to a better life and enlightenment. Whether it's leaving this situation or doing the work on yourself. Stop the patterns. Stop the cycles. Come into your power. That gives you your balance, give and take, along with this self-love. And then when you do that, then you bring in a love. Whether it's this one or an outside one, or at the very least, you balance your own masculine and feminine. And that is going to attract to you, you know, all of that you want. So, weighing out your options, seeing what you want, ending the deceit, hearing the call, cutting out what no longer works, another judgment. So, it's the end and you're moving on from codependency, anxiety, being stuck, and you're down with this new opportunity. No more being stabbed in the back. Luck is on your side. Timing, divine timing. The wheel turns. Everything's in your favor. You have either a soulmate coming in. This soulmate, a soulmate from your past. Or at the very least, your inner child reminds you who you are. Yay, happy day. Just as a reiteration, because I kind of wanted to see, it was like, you know, the Three of Cups popped out, and then you have the Empress and the Sun. So I do think there's like masculine and feminine energy here, but it's like there's a whole lot of females. I mean, there's a whole lot of females and babies. And so it was kind of like, you know, this. We have the Three of Cups and the Empress and the Sun, which has a lady in there and a baby. This one's pregnant. 3 ladies here. And then you have the Chariot over it. So I think you're just moving on from hard times. Like, I do think this is also you celebrating your new beginning and coming into your power and your happy time. And now you're in alignment and moving forward. But I think you're also, some of you are also moving forward from somebody who just really has them lined up, and you took control, you got your strength, you manhandled that beast within yourself, either your ego that kept you there, or maybe if you were the one doing this, and now you're balanced. You know, you went and you got the strength seeking that balance. Okay, so I'm going to read you a couple cards real quick, and then I'll pull you 3 cards of guidance, spiritual guidance, and then a crystal healing card, and then we'll be done. Maybe I won't read all of them. The trilobits is pretty much about waiting and being patient. Like waiting and seeing how this is going to unfold and not rushing to any decision or do anything. Like basically not having this energy. Like wait and see how this is going to work out. Don't rush to anything. Do the work. You know, either remove yourself from the situation and do the work, or relax and do the work. If you're getting any like temptations yourself, or that resentment that's like, well, they did it and I need love or whatever, you know, that don't leave this situation with guilt on your back. Like you don't want that on your back. Just do the work in the meantime and have patience, kind of step back and just let things unfold as they will for a minute. Let your mind, you know, kind of think and process things. Don't just react. Don't just go off impulses. You know, you can't really blame them. They're going and like sleeping with somebody else, and then you're like, oh, I'm lonely, and then you go sleep with someone else, and then you're like, well, I did it because of them, blah, blah. Like, it's the same thing. Like, it's the same thing. You know what I mean? Everybody has a reason for everything they do, because most people always build up some type of reality, and they have to create an environment to support that reality in their eyes. So If you going and talking to someone from your past and that makes you feel better, like you're creating some type of reality to support that in your eyes. If they're talking to a bunch of women because they don't know what they want, they're in some way creating a reality to support that in their eyes and to support doing it in their conscious. And if it goes bad, it's like, oh, well, wasn't that good anyways? Like, nobody's taking responsibility for their part. And I think you almost saw that. I think you almost saw what was going on here. And I think you almost started to fly and you felt like that uncomfortable feeling and you reeled yourself back and you told yourself a lie. Like, maybe this will get better. Maybe I am being too strict. Maybe I am having too much control. You know, maybe I need to just like relax. And meanwhile, they're not really doing their work. Like, you're trying, but they're just sitting there like, yep, there she is. She's still here. And you reeled yourself back because you got scared. And even if there is a chance, like if you want this to work, the best chance that you ever have for a relationship to work is to stand up for yourself, speak up for yourself, show your self-worth. Because a person, especially like this, because they don't respect themselves anyways, they're not going to respect you. And they're not going to choose to have like someone they're with or as their queen. I don't even know if they could properly treat a queen, but they will one day. And then you're going to get mad because you stuck back all those years. Like, I stood by your side, blah, blah, blah. And then she just gets everything I wanted. Yup. That's exactly how it goes. Because she knew her worth and she put her crown on and she made him work. Instead of everyone else just preparing him for that day when he found his queen. Because she knew her worth. You always have to be willing to be okay letting somebody go. Because if you're not, you have that codependency attachment and they know it and they can get away with things. You have to be that confident and loving in yourself to be okay at any time. Anybody. I don't care if he's your husband. I don't care if he's your twin flame. I don't care if he's your soulmate. I don't care who it is. You have to always be willing to walk away from anybody who is not the best for your higher good. And you don't have to like flash that all the time in their face. But them know that and know that they know that you care about yourself and love yourself that much that you only want the best for yourself. And anything less is not good enough. And that's not, you're like, oh my God, you didn't take me out to dinner this week. Peace. That's not what I'm talking about. You know what I'm talking about. Don't be crazy. But to know, like, those people that can always do this and keep people in this pattern and put this fear in their mind when they go to walk away and start new, it's because they know that that person has attachment issues and that they're not willing to truly sever the tie and let it go. So you do have obstacles coming and something, you know, to face within you. And this is Shipwreck Siren. You know, this is basically about like obstacles coming to you and seeing how you react to them. Are you going to react to these obstacles? Exactly like I was saying, like, are you going to react to these obstacles with honor and your integrity? Or are you going to be bashing this person all along and they're not good for me? Meanwhile, you're doing stuff just to sabotage at the same time. But, oh, you feel better about it because of what they did. That doesn't make you any better. You need to either remove yourself and self-reflect on what you need to do, or you need to self-reflect in it if you're able to do it, if this situation isn't too bad to where, you know, it stops you from doing it yourself. But this is somebody who brings obstacles and they test people's will. They test people's integrity and what they're made of during those hard times. What are you made of during this hard time? Not only on self-love, but how are you contributing to this? And are you doing similar things? Are you too scared to walk away, so you're trying to line something else in the meantime? And you're still not sure, and now you've got two going instead of one? Walk through this situation with integrity. Eventually, there will be light. You have a certain slant of light. Eventually, there will be light. But you are being tested right now. You are being tested and asked to have patience and faith and look into this and look at who you are in your integrity and what values do you want to represent. Don't be asking anybody else to have value and you're not bringing yours. because this is a test. Eventually you will see through it, and you will see the light, and you will see the way to go. Don't rush through and not be thinking and self-reflecting during this time while you can't see. Because eventually you will see, and you will have that self-reflective period later. And the last thing you want when you see that light shining through, and the light is shined on this whole situation, you don't want to be sitting there with blood on yourself. Or you get what I'm saying? Like, you don't want to be sitting there, like, at fault as well. I mean, I get if you're there, you have your part and all that, but don't make it worse. Figure out what you want and try to handle it in the best integrity you can. So that when you see the light, you can make the best decision possible, and that at least you're still standing when this light is shown. You have mermaid with a black sea serpent. I'm going to read this to you because it's pretty cool. But you also have jellyfish portal. This is about going with the flow, okay? So this is about have patience, sit back, reflect, watch things unfold. You have tests of will and tests of integrity coming. How are you going to come out of this? How are you going to be looking when the sun shines? Go with the flow during this process. Self-reflect. If it's really bad, remove yourself from it. Don't play a victim. All right, let's look at mermaid with a black sea serpent. I'm going to read the poem too because I think they're kind of cool. Cling to me with the desperation of a motherless child. I will give you all you need. Tell me your fears, and I will swallow them whole, drink their essence, consume them with greed. Rely on me, and I will stay by your side, forever your pet, the only one. Lean on me, I will be your support, forever your crutch, your autonomy undone. A desperate young mermaid clings to her dark pet. Uncertain of herself, she is afraid to let go. Afraid to stand on her own 2 feet, her reliance is unhealthy and draining, but addictive. You have spent too much time seeking out approval and love from others. You cling to relationships long after they have lost their vitality and value to you. Start to cultivate your self-love and rebuild your self-worth before you proceed any further in your relationships, your profession, and your real life. Your inability to let go and stand on your own is detrimental to your personal growth. Take inventory of your strengths and weaknesses. Exactly like this card kind of shows. Like, sit back, self-reflect, like, see how it's going. Take inventory of your strengths and weaknesses. Learn to love and make use of your competencies and ameliorate your shortcomings. Speak to yourself as you would speak to a beloved child, not with the deriding, hypocritical voice we reserve only for ourselves. Embrace yourself and let go of anyone and anything that prevents you from standing on your own 2 feet. So either remove yourself from the situation or step back and think. Go through these tests of will and integrity so that you come out shining and in good light, and go with the flow. And if this is a bad situation, remove yourself from it. Or look at your strengths and weaknesses and see why you're here and how you're contributing, and do that self-reflection. I think this is very different. I think some people absolutely need to leave, and you know you need to, and you're staying out of fear. I think last month you were starting to shine and you got that confidence and you started to walk towards that door, and all of a sudden that new feeling came on you, and on one hand it was exhilarating, but on the other hand you're like, oh no, I don't know what to do with this. And you backed up and you told yourself some type of lie. But some might actually get better. Some might leave and go back to someone from the past. Someone might have lied and stated this and it didn't get better, and they came with someone from their past. Someone came from their past. Or you're just seeking someone else out. Or some people truly just found the self-love. I think it's going to be different. Alright, so, I mean, Okay. So you have a lot of like self-empowerment cards. Like this is, like I said, like all about going within. You have the Nine of Cups, finding self-fulfillment. Like he's meditating. He's raising his frequency. Um, you know, he's looking within himself or within like basically the forces of the universe, and he's rising up spiritually. This is helping him find himself and find like his soul, what it really wants, and find himself again. Like this is what you've been doing, going on patterns not awakened. And, you know, this is your soul. Like it's about coming back into yourself and realizing things, ending this cycle, putting an end to the cycle of not knowing who you are and just going off patterns and being robotic about it, and you piecing it together and finding out who you are again. Piecing out your past. This is also a Six of Cups, so maybe someone from your past, or maybe that whole thing about going to your past is going back to your childhood, you know, while you're single also. And it could be you doing the self-reflection work and looking at things from your past to remember who you are and where you came from. A lot of times when you're doing self-reflection, you could find a lot of your answers on who you are now by looking at who you became in the past. Something I found that was really good to do was if you have any of your old stuff like boxed up, you know, paintings or creative things or journals or diaries or whatever, anything from your past, anywhere from a kid to young adult, teenager, it's very interesting to go through and find things about yourself. There were a lot of things that I was into that either I stopped doing or I was doing them and I didn't even know why, and now it all makes sense. It all comes together where I'm like, oh, and I had no idea back then. But it's about someone from your past either coming, but this is all like your spiritual guidance and going within, raising your frequency, leveling up, meditating, finding out and listening to who you are, listening to your soul again, putting an end to not knowing who you are, welcoming this new cycle because it's going to come with you piecing yourself together again and remembering who you are. Again, you know, Two of Wands, who you are, your new path. And this is going to lead you to enlightenment. It might even be scary, some of your ego you have to deal with. But there is going to be an enlightening. And some of it's going to be scary, but some of it's going to be beautiful. So, you know, don't get scared away by it. This is all about doing the self-work, remembering who you are, and the self-love, and kind of going through that awakening aha moment, whether it's just realizations and your life changes around, or whether you literally have like some type of awakening. But it's about remembering who you are and healing, walking your journey, self-worth, self-value, self-love. You have rhodozite, 43. Mighty power, interactive. Yeah, I kind of get this too, because if you kind of look, it's almost like these stones, like he's meditating and doing like chakra work. It's elevating him to the higher mind. Anyways, mighty power. Zingy rhodozite is excellent for removing blockages and for adding vitality to the physical body. It cleanses, activates, and powers up all the chakras and harmonizes the etheric bodies. This crystal encourages the flow of Kundalini energy to all the cells and the spaces between them. I need to get one of these. That's what I'm going through, is a Kundalini spiritual awakening. And man, oh man. And like I said, you might have an awakening, exactly like I said. A Kundalini awakening is no joke. I mean, it's amazing. It's like crazy beautiful, but I wouldn't trade it for anything though. But it's no joke. Karmic imprints from your past lives or emotional wounds from earlier in your present life may be creating a state. Your own negative or compulsive thought patterns also play a part, as can those of other people directed towards you. Check out the harmony or lack of it in your environment. Earth energies may be disrupting your well-being. The ground around your workplace and your home may need healing and stabilizing by planting suitable crystals in the earth. Living in a healthy, stable environment creates a stable physical body. I feel guided to pull another card. So let's see. Libra. Okay, well, you got two more. That's kind of funny. So you have lapis lazuli, heavenly wisdom. Lapis lazuli wards off calamities of all kinds and was one of the most auspicious stones in the ancient world. You are an immortal soul who has profound connection with the heavens. Your purpose is noble. You yearn for spiritual attunement, but may be hampered by outmoded viewpoints. Exactly. To take charge of your life, looking into the past puts your present experience into perspective. You are a lineage breaker. Make the effort to trace family history for deeper insight. Yep, look at codependencies, healing family issues. There is spiritual dis-ease. Work with dreams. Like you had the card earlier. Remember I said pay attention to your dreams? Work with dreams and journey inward to find deeper insights. Flashes of intuition show the way. Open your heart and third eye. Help comes from on high. Enlightenment is within your grasp. Enhanced perception shows what operates beneath. Study or research is needed. Yours is the gift of true friendship. Protect yourself. Attuning to your divine nature enhances your well-being. Divine reconnection. Like I said, all your cards are about going within and reconnecting with yourself and reconnecting to the higher realms. Okay, so your last card you have is soulmate. And this is the twin flame card. And this is not saying, by the way, that all these are twin flames. It's going off some of the problems and some of the things that are associated with the twin flame journey, which I'll explain more afterwards. Two crystals side by side call in a twin flame, a complement to your soul. This is what people mean when they ask for a soulmate. A twin flame bonds two people in an intimate relationship or unites you with the higher part of your soul. You yearn to be loved, but does this come from a black hole you need to fill? Black holes can be filled only from the inside, by loving yourself fully and integrating different facets of your being. A twin flame means embracing deep intimacy and interdependency between yourself and another at the spiritual and physical levels. Old heartbreak may need to be healed, ties with a past connection cut or vows negotiated. Prepare for open-hearted, intimate, unconditional love. Decide whether you want a soulmate with the soul lessons that implies, or a twin flame, a companion of your heart. You don't need anyone else to make you complete. A twin flame complements your own wholeness. A twin flame is very much about lessons too, though. But I think what this is asking you is, are you seeking this kind of twin flame or soulmate energy? And are you seeking it to fill that black hole or that hole within yourself that you can't seem to fill yourself? One thing I can tell you, whether it's a soulmate, twin flame journey, anything anything, a job, a relationship, a friendship, this energy will never be fulfilled unless you have it within yourself. I don't care how amazing they are. I don't care how in tune you are. To me, this message saying to you guys is, if you really want this union, which I think you really do, you know, you really, really do. This comes from, you know, healing, self-work, spiritual, you know, evolution, rising, connecting to the higher realms. Speak your truth. Don't be resentful. Don't do things behind it by saying speak your truth and be yourself and have the self-love. Complete yourself. This soulmate, this twin flame is actually yourself. It's as above, so below. Things are a bigger picture of what's within us. So unless you're masculine and you're feminine and your self-love is all balanced and complete, no soulmate, no twin flame, none of that is going to stay there with you. If they do, and that's okay, if they do, be prepared for this type of relationship that is just that constant all over the place, back and forth, and that constant state of being like this. And also acknowledge that up until this point, you've actually to some degree yearned and been addicted to being like this. Because that's the thing, when this soulmate walks in that is more balanced, part of you is going to miss and want to create this. Because it's showing you that you need to do work. You've built up patterns over this whole time. Didn't you hear in the cards talking about patterns? So this isn't saying that everyone listening to this is in like, you know, this is a soulmate relationship, stay in this, blah, blah. No. The card is saying that that connection that you're seeking by staying in this, or that someone from your past, or that fear you have, it's within yourself. Those people come and stay in our lives when they mirror that balance within ourselves. Okay? Don't look for a relationship out of fear or just to fill that deep black wound within yourself. Do the work. Whether you stay in this, whether you leave, whether you're by yourself, whatever, do the work. And don't just become resentful. Don't have a victim mentality. And don't be scared to leave, but yet you need love. And then you start something on the side. And then as the light comes and you see that this was all a lesson. And if that happens, it's okay. Forgive yourself. Let you go. Let it all go. Like you're a human. Learn from the lesson. Clean slate. Move on. Okay? But do the work. And don't be scared to spread your wings. Don't be scared to go into that environment that feels different to you. And I am right there with you. I am working on that with myself right now. And it is very uncomfortable. And some people are like, no, it's exciting. Yeah, it is. Some exciting more than others. But it's scary. It's scary sometimes to shed your skin and let your wings open up and fly. But don't let yourself create false realities to support you having to hide your wings again. Do the work so they can stay open and they can open wide. Because you got a lot of good things coming for you, and there's a lot of work for you to even do. A lot of things that are going to make you happy. Don't focus, to be honest, I wouldn't even focus on this relationship, of all honesty. I'm not saying to let it go or whatever. If it's bad to you and you can't think straight, you can't have like good thoughts in your mind, you can't raise your frequency, you can't hear your intuition, then yes, remove it for a minute. Even if it's for a minute and saying, look, I need space, I need to get my thoughts together. But if you can stay in it, stay somewhat healthy in your mind and focus on yourself, I would absolutely just focus on yourself. You cannot focus on another person and control another person, and you need to do the work yourself. It's mirroring. It's an endless battle. It's you trying to fix something and you're pouring water and they're on the other side pouring gasoline on it. You are going to literally get exhausted, and then you're either going to burn out and have a crazy moment, trust me, or you're going to start to have more like narcissistic tendencies or something. It's just not going to go good. Just stop focusing on this. Stop focusing on this. Pick up the mirror. And you have like 2 or 3 cards in here that have mirrors, and they're not looking at the mirror. You have the control. Give up control of this. Like, that's what this means too, is to, you know, give up on control issues. It's wanting you to focus more closely at this. Not only what's in your environment and going on here, but the fact of releasing control of this, of stop focusing on this and focus on yourself. If you really want to have the control of something, it's focusing on yourself. Stop focusing on this. Let this go. Allow this situation to unfold naturally as it should. Focus a little closely more on the control part of it by focusing on yourself. As you gain control of yourself and you release control of everything else, all of a sudden the control goes outwardly. So that's it. I'm going to call it a wrap. Don't forget, like, share, subscribe, comment, free drawing. Don't forget about the holiday deals. Email me if so. All the information is in the description box below. $25, 30 minutes, $45, 60 minutes. All of that. I'll be seeing you again soon. Hopefully things just keep going, you know, good, where I can get out the rest of these videos before the end of this month. So it's been a rough month, as you can probably tell. I'm like bedhead and everything. But anyways, it doesn't matter. Like, share, subscribe, comment. Don't forget about the holiday deals. Thank you for everything. I love you. Thank you for walking this journey with me. I'll be seeing you again soon. Bye.